Happy Tuesday, and welcome to Our Power is Within, a weekly podcast designed to inspire you to take your power back. I'm your host, Chasmith. You can just call me Chaz. Oh, and happy Thanksgiving for anyone out there who celebrates. Though I honestly believe that every day is a great day to celebrate gratitude and giving. And speaking of giving, the challenge that I have for you all listening today is to think of something that you can do for somebody else to bring someone else joy, to make someone else smile. Bonus points if you do it anonymously. Yes, because when we do it anonymously, there's no one to thank us back or to give us props or praise, which, yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty special feeling if you've never tried it. So yeah, lots of options here. It could be a random act of kindness for a stranger, or maybe it's an act of kindness for a loved one. Maybe each day this week, you think of one simple thing that would make somebody else happy. And thinking of those things that would bring someone else joy rather than focusing on what they do wrong or what irritates you or where they fall short in your eyes. Like everything else I say, this doesn't have to be some big, expensive, grand gesture. It is truly the little things that yield the biggest results over time, little by little by little. Most importantly, as you are thinking up what you could do and thinking of what would make someone else happy or smile, I encourage you to notice how you feel when you are directing your focus toward the other person in a positive, kind way. I guarantee it will feel good. And what a wonderful week to experience giving a few little acts of kindness, isn't it? I guess every week's a good week for that, though, don't you think? All right. So, there's a lot of people, myself included, that we get into this mindset that we do really want to help people, or we want to change the world, or we want to make a difference, and that we won't feel fulfilled until we know we're doing that. But the caveat is that often we get into this mindset that there's this grand notion of helping people or the world, and that it comes with these big actions, like we have to change our whole career and we need to be a coach of some sort or a speaker, or we need to have workshops, or we need to write a book, all the things, right? But as I've said before, and as I'll say again, we help people and we help the world by the little, seemingly insignificant choices that we make every hour of every day. And when you can shift into this perspective that supports this belief, it is crazy the amount of opportunities that you will realize that you have every day to make a difference in our world. From holding the door for someone to smiling at someone. And one of the most powerful, simple things is giving someone eye contact. This lets them know that you not only see them, but that you are present to the moment that you are experiencing with them in the now. Listen, no matter what job you have, you can make a difference in the world. Seriously, I used to think it had to be a certain job, but when I realized that it wasn't about what I was doing, it was about how I was showing up in whatever I was doing that made the biggest difference. It can be in any job in the world, whether you're dealing directly with customers and you approach each customer with an intention of creating a wow experience for them. Or maybe it's just smiling and being kind to an employees. Maybe somebody's having a hard day and you extend grace. It's these little things that we do every day. Honestly, it's like being the best in class in the category of kindness, day in and day out. I do want to preface, though, that this does not mean letting down your boundaries or disrespecting your boundaries or not honoring your well-being. Remember that when we do these acts of kindness, you should feel good as well. Have fun with it though, play around, experiment, try something new every day, extend yourself and just see how it feels. I honestly believe you will have a lot of fun and enjoy doing this. And I look forward to each of you trying it out. And speaking of having fun, everything about today's interview is fun, fun, fun. This interview might have more laughter than any other interview I've shared so far. And this whole the whole conversation actually revolves around fun and play and ways to incorporate and create more fun and play in your life. Our guest today is Astra Rebecca Lozano. She is the founder of Yay Neuroplasticity. Her coaching practice is literally designed around helping you learn to incorporate fun and play into your retraining and into your life. At the beginning of our conversation, you will notice that when I ask her how she is doing, she quickly flips it around to ask me what is going well. And I thank her for correcting me. If you aren't in a brain retraining program, then this might seem strange to you, but it makes so much sense. You see, while it might be ingrained in our culture to greet one another by asking how we are, it doesn't mean it's the best approach. When we can actually shift to a question that yields a more positive response, we are automatically priming our brain to positivity and shifting away from our natural negativity bias. So one of the guidelines in our brain retraining is to avoid the traditional "how are you" question. I really encourage you to give it a try. It's fun. And if you are newer to my podcast and have not listened to some of the earlier episodes, you might not even know what DNRS or brain retraining really is, and that's okay. DNRS is the Dynamic Neural Retraining System, and it is a brain rewiring program that has proven to be amazingly successful for nearly anything chronic, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical. It's honestly a game changer, you guys. Honestly, any form of brain retraining is so powerful. If it piques your interest, I suggest giving a listen to one of my previous episodes with Lindsay Mitchell. It's called Rewiring Vitality. It's a few episodes ago. I would give that a listen. She is the founder of Vital Side, which is another brain retraining program that she not only has a group retraining that you can purchase, but she has individualized custom programming as well. So what I really like about her program is its flexibility. I will drop links in the show notes as usual for you guys to do some further review on DNRS and some other options, and of course, all of the wonderful good ways to connect to Astra Rebecca. So honestly, I'm really excited to just get into this interview and welcome Astra Rebecca to the show so that you guys can laugh along with us. Enjoy the ride. All right, guys, I have Astra Rebecca on the line. Hello, Astra Rebecca. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing so well. Thank you. What's going well with you?
Thank you for correcting me. I actually wanted to ask you what's going well, but you know, the good old common question that just becomes ingrained into us. But what is going well for me today is I already got some movement, a good walk, a bike ride, sunshine, and a good amount of time barefoot on my grass in my backyard, getting grounded while watering and admiring my garden.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I would say it's a pretty complete day, and now I get to chat with you.
Yay!
And so what's going well for you?
Let's see. Well, I woke up laughing and singing. So I had this dream where I became best friends with Cinderella. So that was really fun. And I had a wonderful On Wednesdays, I lead a karaoke dance party over Zoom. So that just finished a little bit ago.
That's awesome. I actually know about that, and I actually do fully intend to participate one of these days. It will more likely be when it's winter time, because I try to minimize screen time and just, I'm in California. We've had a lot of fires and really dirty air. So when it's a nice sunny day, I'm outside, and, that will shift. And then those rainy days, I'll be inside participating in karaoke.
Well, we'd love to have you.
So it's funny because I wasn't even intending to ask this question, but I'm going to now because it's something you said sparked an interest. You said you woke up laughing and singing, and you obviously woke up out of a dream. That's what you said. But I'm curious, as part of your brain retraining, was this a discipline that you initially or at some point in your retraining committed to doing, just even if it was a forced or a quote unquote initially fake laugh, but did you have that consciousness in the morning to create laughter or, sing or do anything specific to reframe your brain's ability to wake up the way that served you?
Yes, definitely. Yes, I worked, I put effort into it. So basically I started, could not be more opposite than having a Disney princess dream. Mm-hmm. So I really wanted fun dreams. I started with just doing what we call rounds. Mm-hmm. That included, just really magical kind of fantasy scenarios, and would laugh and sing as much as possible before bedtime in a calm way. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So before bedtime, you actually implemented the singing and laughter.
Yes.
To go to bed in that state.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Okay. So it took a little bit of work, a little time, I should say. And just intentionally, as soon as I woke up, I did exactly the same thing.
That's what I was just going to ask you. So in the morning, you would also, maybe you would initially, back in the day, you'd wake up in your mind. We know how our limbic systems love to instantly go to what's going wrong? What's the problem? What's this? That negativity bias. Mm-hmm. But you would just instantly through consciousness, shift and redirect and just make yourself sing and laugh.
Yeah. It was actually kind of, a morning ritual / routine that I built that took a couple of hours every morning. Oh, wow. So I would start, I would go upstairs and make my tea, and then I would get down to the fun business. So I would watch between 1 and 3 funny videos on YouTube. And then I would pick 3 to 5 songs to eventually dance to. When I first started, that was not something that I was able to do. And then, but I would sing if I could. The goal of this was just to elevate my mood as much as possible and to try to train my limbic system to start being a morning person. Yes. And to also just to love the mornings. Yes. So I put in as much effort as I could to do rounds to elevate my mood, and that kind of thing. So now, also I said over and over just that I have funny dreams. So now I do.
That's awesome. You said that. You just in your rounds or just in life throughout the day?
Throughout the day, but also in the rounds. I would describe the rounds, but also I'd talk about how I very briefly wake myself up throughout the night because I'm laughing so hard. Okay. So you definitely used visualizations to actually visualize yourself sleeping and engaging in an awesome dream. Exactly.
Okay. And did you ever do visualizations where you imagined yourself just waking up being, enthusiastic and smiling and ready for the day?
Absolutely. Yeah. Usually in every round that I did about sleep, it would talk about how it felt to fall asleep, what it felt like to stay asleep and to experience the magical dreams, and then what it felt like to wake up. So the whole process.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In one round, in one visualization, or did you kind of focus on a certain section in a certain visualization and then another time?
It varied. Usually I included all three in one round.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. I love doing rounds where I imagine this super cozy, amazing setting where I'm just dreaming and sleeping, and I can almost just see the smile on my face while I'm asleep, or definitely the waking up ones. And something I wonder, and I want to address this for the listeners, because it's a common thing I hear when people are first starting with whatever form of brain retraining they are taking up, is but and you might have heard this, but when you first get told to just make yourself laugh and there's nothing funny, and you're, like the laughter yoga or something. And it's one of the things where fake it till you make it actually kind of counts. Like you just start like making yourself fake laugh, and before you know it, you're cracking up hysterically.
Totally.
Was that your experience too?
It was a little trickier because it has to do with sleep. More of the subconscious. Like we can laugh, or like quote fake laugh, or intentionally laugh during our waking hours. So my sleep was a pretty big it for me, and I just focused specifically on the feelings, how it felt in the dream and how nourishing it felt to experience this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I like your morning routine, by the way. Tease the good stuff too.
Yeah.
Tease the good stuff. And would you consider yourself a morning person now?
Absolutely.
Yes. I would consider myself a morning person in progress.
Yeah.
But only because for so long, I didn't even realize through so much of my brain retraining that I actually wanted to be. And then I had these little nuances and moments where I was, and I thought, oh my God, this is magical. It's so peaceful in the morning, and I can actually get so much done before the day is really even getting started. And then I thought, wait a minute, I'm brain retraining. If I want to be a morning person, I can be.
Yeah, totally.
I'm going to start becoming one.
Absolutely.
And it's been going well.
Yay.
So, how long, speaking of brain retraining, have you been a brain retrainer?
Let's see here. On May 5th of 2017. That's when I started.
So about a little over 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. And have you been adhering strictly to the dynamic neural retraining system, or have you kind of veered off and ventured off into incorporating a multitude of different rewiring protocols or practices?
Yeah, it's always been pretty DNRS focused, but I also have combined Gupta, Dispenza, and then made some up by myself.
Yeah, there's so many fun tools out there.
Yeah.
Awesome. And this will be new lingo for some of the listeners, but you, at this point, you still continue to brain retrain, though you do consider yourself in the emergent and thrive phase.
Yes. I no longer have any physical or mental symptoms. And yeah, now I continue to rewire to kind of sustain that radiant joy all the time. So I have gone months without practicing at all, and I felt still great. But when I practice, I feel, for lack of a better term, I feel superhuman.
You feel better.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. How long did you commit to the DNRS protocol consistently before you felt you could start taking days off, or weeks off, or time off?
Quite a while, actually. At least 2 years.
Nice.
But my healing, it wasn't just like physical and mental. It was I was doing a lot of emotional healing also.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like they go hand in hand.
Yeah, they do.
Honestly, my personal belief is that there's often an emotional element that is underlying, that goes hand in hand with the healing. And that's to me one of the most beautiful parts is as I was telling you offline, how what starts sometimes for us that we think is physical, we get so far along and we realize, oh my gosh, this is actually so much bigger than the physical sensations.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So what do you think are, what would you say are some of the biggest wins you've had or your biggest accomplishments through through rewiring your brain over the past 3 years?
Oh, shoot. That's a hard one. Well, first of all, I have now a great relationship with my family.
Awesome.
It was not like that before.
Right. Okay.
And I worked on rewiring just the past, my emotional, like my responses to things, and they haven't changed at all. But now I'm able to focus on how awesome they are and just see the awesomeness.
Yes.
Whereas before it was like the 4% of, the 4% of what I don't like about them. That's all I could see before. And now we have, it's just very, very loving and rich. And I'm very grateful for them. I'd probably say my relationships are my biggest accomplishments, my biggest wins.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was like where I was coming from. I knew underneath I was super social and very outgoing, but there was something keeping me from living my life like that. Mm-hmm. And looking back now, it was like I had a different personality just because of my history. And so when I started rewiring, I did a lot of visualizations and affirmations about the kind of person I wanted to be. And so, very outgoing, have very, very rich friendships that are also very healthy. And now I feel very grateful for the people in my life. And not to mention like all the things I am physically able to do. Like I hike 14,000-foot mountains on a regular basis.
Wow. What is that called? A 14er? No, 14er. What is it called? Yeah, it is 14er. A 14er. I was just in Denver and I just learned about this.
yeah, we've got a lot of them.
Nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, not just, the physical feat. It's like, there's not much oxygen up there. Mm-hmm. So for me, that was a challenge. But then once I rewired, it was just like, oh, of course I can do this. Everyone else is doing it.
Yes.
And, I go on, 50 to 90 mile bike rides on a regular basis.
Dang, in one day?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, my partner wants to go overnight several days. Okay. So I worked up to it.
Nice.
But yeah, just like amazing endurance accomplishments. Mm-hmm. Whereas, before it was not like that.
Let me ask you a question. At some point before brain rewiring, were those things you even thought you wanted to do? Or was this like as you rewired and stepped more into your authentic self and released layers of conditioning and personality that weren't actually true to you, was this like new passions that emerged?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my journey has been pretty all over the place. I was, bedridden for 13 years, but it wasn't consecutive. It was, 3 to 5 years here, and then I would go out and live my life. So in the times where I'd go out and live my life, always had challenges though. I would compete in high-level athletics.
Okay, so you were always an athlete. And,
exactly.
And endurance drive at heart.
Yes. When I started DNRS, I thought that had gone forever. So really lost all hope to do anything even remotely similar. And now I don't compete. I just do it for myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the desire to still do this stuff is there, but the drive is different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, I was very competitive.
That doesn't surprise me. That the personality traits and the characteristics that drive us to be extremely competitive usually also drive us to physical, chronic illness and disease. Unfortunately. So I like this whole thing about just visualizing the kind of person I want to be. I know a lot of people visualize specific, like being in a place or having a certain experience, but it's so profound to also, like you said, actually take the time during these visualizations and actually see and feel yourself being that person.
Yeah. That was definitely is very profound for me when I started doing that. I lost all sight of who I was at all. Felt very lost and didn't even know really where to begin with brain retraining. But I knew the kind of people that I was drawn to. So, there's certain qualities in like people who compete at high level athletics, or like a big one for me. Do you know who Wim Hof, like the ice man is?
Yeah. Yep.
So he was a big inspiration for me when I was retraining temperature symptoms.
Interesting.
I looked at what he was doing and I thought it was just amazing.
Yes.
How, how could you not? But I started applying that to brain retraining.
Okay.
I was living in the mountains, like off the grid, and wanted to be enjoying the snow. I moved from San Diego, and so like the big temperature change was, it was different. So I started training on the snow itself and really enjoying it. Also, we have very strong sun here in Colorado. So training on both of those. I'd walk in the snow barefoot. I'd start at like 1 second and then I just hop back in my trailer. And I built up because I figured if one person can do it, why couldn't I do it?
Yes. That's the money right there. That's like, you said it a couple times. Oh, if this person, if other people are doing 14ers, why can't I? And how you just said it again. If other people can do this, why can't I do it? Because that's the mindset that I think it really takes for us to, hold.
Yeah.
We get out of that hopelessness and we get into, no, if they can do it, so can I. I'm not different,
Yeah. Yeah. That was, I really rewired that in there. When I first started, there were not many people doing brain retraining. I'd actually been told about it 6 years prior and like right when it came out, and did not believe it. So time went by, tried it again. I had to. And, the people that were recovered or recovering, it was mostly geared toward like MCS, etc. Not, big lists. But learning a little bit about the brain, I was like, okay, it makes sense that if they can recover from that, I can recover from what I have.
Yes.
And I really believe that.
I do too. 100%. I mean, I honestly believe it's funny because, this is another thing we were talking about offline is people, when they're new, always saying, has anyone healed from this or has anyone healed from this? And most of the time my response is, I'm not the medical expert, but my personal opinion is that if you believe you can heal from it, then you more than likely can.
Yeah, totally.
So
yeah,
that's awesome. And I did want to kind of circle back and make a comment about the family and the relationships, how you said that, and, initially you were only focused on the 4% that was wrong. And now you guys have these beautiful relationships and you pointed out how they didn't change. You did. And I just think that is so incredibly powerful. And when I think of empowering, that's like the most wonderful example, because, you hear it all the time. Oh, well, you hear both things. You hear one aspect, which is like, it takes two. And yes, it does take two. Usually if there's like say you're in a romantic relationship and there's problems, it probably took both people. But also there's the saying, hey, you can show up in the relationship different and make a difference without the other person doing anything different. Like, you can be the change. And so many people don't understand that we really do have that much power, that at an individual level, we can be the change. And then that transfers into our relationships, our community, and the world.
Totally. Yay,
So,
I'm going to clap. I 100% agree. I mean, it's not like they're, like my family and I, we have a pretty extended history. Like, my whole family had challenges, so we were all in this together. Plus, just a million other things going on. So it's just a limbic family altogether.
yeah,
So,
not uncommon.
yeah, exactly. And, but I don't hold any of that against them. All I see are just people trying their best.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a hard one to understand, but we're really all just doing our best every day.
Yeah.
The best that we can with the tools we have with wherever we're at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So true. I love that. So it's an interesting. So did you have, when you first started DNRS, did you have certain goals that you kind of sought, like initially, like these were my goals? And part two of that question is, if so, did you find that you actually had like a shift in desire of goals, was it like, no, these are the goals, and then you set out for them, you accomplished them? Or as you rewired and grew through the program, did those goals shift? Did you notice if there was a shift?
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, when I first started, first of all, I didn't fully believe that it would help all of my its. I thought maybe, but I wasn't sure. But I did think that it would be able to help my mood. Mm-hmm. And my mood was just, I'll just say it was dark. And honestly, I just wanted to be able to like even slightly enjoy life. And if I could experience that, then I could get through anything. Mm-hmm. So that was my main goal when I went into the program. It was like, if I could just feel a little happy, then it would be wonderful. And the first thing I experienced was not only a major mood shift, but I regained my hope. Mm-hmm. I lost my hope a long time ago. So, the more I practiced, the more hope I felt. And the more I believed that anything was really possible. And so because of that, the more I began to believe that more and more. So I would constantly revisit my goals because they would shift according to my belief. Mm-hmm. As the belief grew, all of a sudden I believed that these, major goals could actually happen. Or not even goals. It was like these major dreams that to other people would seem almost silly. And so as I regained my hope, it was like, okay, I know that this is going to happen. It's just a matter of timing.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any, off the top of your head, can you think of any goals that you had that, or like you said, dreams that other people might think of silly that you achieved that were just, that are special or dear to your heart?
Let's see here. finishing my website was a really big one, actually, for me.
So awesome.
I don't know if that was a silly goal, but I had been working towards building a website for years, actually. And there was just some kind of block there. And then this awesome retreat came up, and it was like, okay, well, I need to do this. And, there was, I had someone else building it for me, but then it just seemed better to do it myself. Mm-hmm. And so I had like 9 days to do it, and I did it.
That's awesome.
So for me, it was just like, I didn't even know how much I'd healed until I did that.
Why is that? Why do you think?
Well, first of all, just
brought light to it.
Sorry?
What do you think brought light to that thought?
Well, first of all, like I was able to go at a really like a very fast paced, but like also remain calm and in my center, even when I was working like sometimes like 16 hours a day for 9 days.
Wow.
Like I've never done that in a calm way. I've done that in a manic way.
Right.
But this was totally different. Like there was no burnout. There was just like, as soon as it didn't feel fun to me, then I would take a break and make it fun.
What's something you would do to make it fun?
Well, I laughed a lot. I'd have dance parties to myself. I would make it more colorful if I wasn't having fun.
And you didn't always back. You said before, when you first started DNRS, like pre-DNRS dark days, you weren't just this person having dance parties all the time.
No.
I just want the listeners to know that, because it's going to be so easy for some people to say that's just who she is, or that's who she's always been, or oh, she's one of those like always happy people, and it's so not true. I already, I just wanted to affirm that for anyone listening, that these dance parties are a byproduct of the effort that you've put into self-care and love and retraining. Yeah,
totally. And honestly, like the dance parties, when I was using them like to retrain, I danced because it felt like kind of like bringing out the big guns to like spark those happiness chemicals in me. I needed something to gain momentum. And so like the smaller things didn't really work for me always. So I would make it like bigger, more outlandish to make myself, just have a little more fun.
That's awesome. What's your go-to song?
I like "Do You Believe in a Thing Called Love" by The Darkness.
I do believe in a thing called love. That song?
Yeah, it's like, just listen to the rhythm of my heart.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna have to like listen to that now. It's gonna be in my head.
You have to watch the music video. It is hilarious. It's just like this guy crawling around in a bodysuit.
And you dance to that, or is that more of just a listen to song?
No, I dance and sing to it.
Okay, I'm gonna check out the video when we're done with this for sure. That's awesome. I love that. So this is a good tie-in. We're kind of talking about songs and dancing and ways that you made the website building fun. And so I guess my next question is, what are some of the daily rituals or disciplines that you continue to do for retraining your brain?
That's a great question. I operate very well in a clean space. So every morning I like to kind of rearrange things just to make sure that they have a place. I like my space to be really sparkly, and I work from home, so that's important to me. I always listen to one song in the morning.
The same one or different?
No, usually different ones, just depending on how I feel. And, I'll be like dancing on the way to the bathroom, dancing on the way to the kitchen to get my tea. I seek out the house cat to give her some hugs.
Okay.
I try to do morning rounds. I really like them. It doesn't always happen. But I try to do 2 back to back in the morning. And I do it outside also.
Even in the winter?
Yes.
Wow.
So I bundle up. But yeah, I'll have like my cup of hot tea. And it just feels really good to be outside.
It does. Huh. Maybe I'll actually try that one time this winter. Maybe. We'll see.
The Wim Hof method.
Maybe for the next 2 months, I'll visualize doing it.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I do a lot of yoga. I always run every day. Sometimes the time looks different. It's like whether it's in the morning or,
7 days a week you run?
Yes, I'm a big runner. I love running.
Wow.
I also love biking, any kind of movement, really.
Okay.
And I do try to get at least one buddy round in a day.
Okay, still 3 years in, you're still doing buddy rounds.
Yes, absolutely. Buddy rounds have always been my preference.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for years, actually, that's all I did. And now I don't do as many as I'd like because I don't have the time.
Yes, they take double the time.
They do. But it's just, some of my best friends are people I train with. So I really like checking in with them. And I love listening to stories.
Yes.
And then also I'm a born entertainer. So that feels fun for me.
I want to pause for a moment and just let the listeners know, because everyone who's listening probably is not aware of some of our lingo. And so just buddy rounds, I think the best way to explain it for maybe somebody who's not specifically in DNRS, but who's just curious about implementing different rewiring protocols, I would say a buddy round would be the equivalent of calling up a friend and doing a self-guided visualization out loud so that your friend can listen, and then they do one and you listen.
Yeah.
Just so that people know in case it's something they want to try.
Yes. If you're curious at all, I would highly recommend them.
Yeah. No, it's fun. For sure. And what else? Any other daily disciplines or rituals?
Let's see here. I practice guitar.
Ooh.
I do another form of art sometime in the day. So, drawing or painting, sculpting, something like that. And then I read at night. And then, I journal in the morning also.
Dang, girl, you got busy days.
I've rewired to manage my time well.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
These sound like fun days.
They are.
I can get down with all of this. Did you always have a musical background, or is guitar something you're learning?
I am getting back into it. I do have a musical background and a family of musicians and artists. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. It's been music has always been a huge part of my rewiring journey.
That is awesome. I recently took up learning to play the piano, a keyboard, same difference.
Yeah,
I have an adult beginner guide that I follow, and I try to make a commitment to just 20 minutes a day. And sometimes I don't, and sometimes I do it for an hour another day. But I really love it.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, I love when something just clicks, and you just start to actually catch on. And I don't know, I love too the challenge that sometimes, of course, it's the way it works, right? When I feel like I'm really getting something and I'm like, yes, I'm getting this. And then I flip the page and it says, we're going to learn now something in a new chord, like a new major or something.
Yeah.
I don't know all the lingo. It's like I my fingers memorized all the C stuff, and then it's like we're gonna go into the key of G now, and I'm like, wait, what? But it's so good for rewiring, It's just right when you get the hang of it, it just knows let's shift it up a little.
Totally. And I like to explain to people make the analogy of learning an instrument and rewiring. It's like you're going to have huge wins, but it is a skill that you build.
Yeah.
And there's really, it's never going to, you're never going to run out of things to rewire.
No, because we're living a human experience.
Exactly.
So there's always new stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I I'm also, because I'm learning how to also read the music. So it's not just the piano, but I'm learning how to play the piano through learning how to read and interpret the sheet music. So it's pretty cool.
Yay. I love that.
It's really exciting. And it's a good reminder every day that it's about the journey, not the destination. I'm not in a hurry to get anywhere with it.
Yeah, totally. Who's your favorite composer?
I have no idea.
That's okay. You'll find out.
Yeah, right now, like I said, I'm just following this adult beginner guide.
Awesome.
Yeah, one page at a time. So, yeah, I have another question.
Yay.
I ask this to pretty much everyone. And the question is, what has been, now that you're at where you're at, living the life you're living, when you look back, what do you feel like has been the greatest gift in the pain, in the dark place, whatever the physical symptoms were, whatever left you, bedridden and inhibited you from living the life of your dreams? What was the gift?
It would have to be empathy. Just having such it's like a, graduate's degree in suffering. I was able to relate to people on all levels, and to not only relate, but it's like I can really understand, and can have compassion for them in that moment.
Yes.
Whereas, if I wouldn't have gone through this, there's just no way I would know.
Right. And if you didn't go through it, well, yeah, I guess if you just never even had the symptoms, you wouldn't have known, is what you're saying.
Exactly. And now on the other side, like, not only do I have so much empathy, but I'm able to help so many people.
Right. Yeah. I love that you called it a graduate degree in suffering. Oh man, that's the first time I've heard that.
I think I should have an honorary degree.
Well, I think that goes for unfortunately, a lot of people.
Yeah.
In some capacity or another. Yeah. That's why this stuff is such a gift, because it really does give us our power back.
Absolutely.
So, what would be your message to the listeners, for anyone who's out there? Maybe I have people who've never even heard of brain retraining, or, maybe they have physical pain, or maybe they just feel like they keep reliving the same patterns in their life, and they're just sick and tired of being sick, or sick of relationships that they can't get right, or they're down on themselves, or they don't have hope right now. What would be a message you'd give them?
So for me, the way I looked at, now this is going to be kind of a longer story. I really feel like, God or source brought brain retraining into my life. So I could learn how to heal and rescue myself. I don't think I would have ever learned that. I mean, I have tried to heal in so many different ways for a lifetime, and nothing worked until I learned this. And I have seen this time and time again, just people regaining their power and learning how to rescue themselves.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Rescue themselves.
Yeah, I did a lot of visualizations for that also. It's like, becoming my own, like superhero, or kind of knight in shining armor, or whatever. Just learning how to rescue myself. I think that's what we learn. To no longer be taken out by things.
Yeah. I never heard it like rescue myself before. I love it. It's so true. What would a visualization look like where you're rescuing yourself?
Let's see. So just kind of like the typical princess and knight in shining armor one, maybe. So, you could be both the knight in shining armor and the princess. So, experiencing both, experiences And so you're approaching the tower as the knight in shining armor and also experiencing the emotions that the princess is exhibiting. Climbing up, and then maybe as the knight in shining armor, you don't actually rescue the princess. You just give her the tools to do it herself.
Yes. That's awesome. You have a very creative ability for visualizations, I can tell.
Thank you.
Yeah. I don't know that that's everyone's gift. Sometimes
okay. Everyone has gifts.
Yeah, absolutely. So your message then is to rewire, if someone's listening, to rewire their brain.
That you can rescue yourself.
Yes.
There are a lot of healing modalities out there, but this can help you on your journey.
Absolutely. Yes, we can all rescue ourselves. We are all healers, but we are self-healers. That is my belief. That word gets tossed around a lot in the world. But I feel like sometimes it's tossed around in a way that convinces people that they need the other person to heal them. Yeah. Like, I'm a healer, come to me and I'll heal you.
No. I mean, it's hard with, complex chronic illness also, or just complex things.
Yes.
We're looking to other people for the answers naturally. Right. They don't always have them.
Right.
What I've found.
Yes.
I wish they did. That would have been a lot easier.
Oh, absolutely. Isn't that great? You want to be able to just go to one person and be like, tell me what I need to do. Tell me what, or like, you fix me, you do this, but I mean, in a sense, brain rewiring does tell you it gives you a guide to follow. Yeah. And what you can do, but you're still doing it yourself. Yeah. And the whole point of it is to come into yourself more.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So so that's like one message. And then we were talking about your kind of daily rituals and routines. If you were going to give anyone out there listening one piece of advice as far as what would you say would be what you would recommend if there was one thing they could implement into their day, what would you suggest?
Like besides rounds?
Well, yes, this is assuming that not everyone's doing DNRS, nor are they necessarily going to. They might just decide, I want to start taking personal responsibility, and this brain retraining sounds fun. How could I start myself? Like, what could I do myself? What would you say?
Well, I want to say 3.
Yeah, go ahead. That's okay.
Okay.
Maybe people can pick which one they want, or they'll do all 3.
It's so hard to choose.
I know.
So the first one is just to do a visualization about how well your day is going to go. Whatever you have to do on the to-do list, just go through that. I've always loved doing this, especially like having a sports background. We did that a lot. And so when I learned that we do a lot of that with brain retraining, it felt really natural. I just had never done it for anything besides, sports. But it's really effective. Just going through your day, like either in the morning or at night, just to help your limbic system receive and start to believe that good things are possible.
Yes. Awesome. I love it. What else?
And then either laughing and or like having, I guess, karaoke dance party with yourself or even with other people. But I found that like laughing, singing, and dancing are so powerful. And
being silly.
Exactly.
Playing.
Like instant, not only mood transformation, but just like overall transformation. It's very quick to turn things around.
How would you, if somebody's response was, but I'm pretty much stuck in bed, what would you tell them to do in that regard for number 2, laughter, silliness, playfulness?
There's always a way to be silly.
Yes.
You can, move your little finger in a different way. I coach people on doing that sometimes. Like, make it doable for you. Yes. So that's like, just take the blanket recommendation of dancing and singing. But adjusting that for you is really important. So when I started this, I wasn't able to sing or dance, so I just made it work. I listened to a song that I really liked, and I would just kind of slightly bob my head. Whereas, like, you know, if someone was looking at me, they probably couldn't have even noticed I was moving.
Okay.
But to me, it felt like I was getting into the music just a little bit.
You could feel it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. When you said move a finger, it made me think of, I don't know if I'll be able to describe this the right way, but do you know when you bend your fingers and then you have your thumb and you move your thumb so that it looks like that hole is a mouth, like talking? And you put like 2 little dots. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
People right now probably think I'm crazy. Anyways, I don't know why. When you said move your finger, that was the first thing I thought of, was making that little like mouth with your thumb and index finger.
Absolutely, yeah. And just like how does that sing to you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What's your third thing?
Let's see. Well, that was kind of like,
that was 3. Okay. Visualize, laughter, and then the like sing and dance play.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love it. Awesome. And so you mentioned you built a website recently. So where are you in the world these days, and how can people find you? What are you up to?
Well, I am loving my life.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah. I live in Denver, Colorado. And on the interwebs, you can find me at yayneuroplasticity.com. And on Instagram, my handle is yayneuroplasticity.
All one word.
Yes.
And what are you doing these days? What is your website all about?
It's about basically the title, Yay Neuroplasticity. Finding your healing path through play and fun.
Okay. So you coach?
Sorry. Yes, I teach one-on-one neuroplasticity, like kind of personal training lessons.
Okay.
So I mostly combine, like, I use all of the techniques that I created, but also, like, doesn't really matter where people are coming from or what program they're using. I incorporate whatever they're doing. And I will be teaching. I've had a lot of questions on basically how to have fun and requests to teach that. So within the next couple of months, I will be teaching called Pursuit of Play classes. So we'll be dissecting what play is, how to apply it in your daily life, in your neural retraining practice. And then weekly on Instagram, I host like live Pursuit of Play /fun challenges. So every week we dive into a different kind of fun.
Awesome. So you would be a great person for someone to call out there who's like, I hear them talking about this play stuff, but I'm an adult and I just don't know how to play anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, I get it a lot. So that's one of my favorite things to help people do is to find their fun.
Mm-hmm. That is awesome. I love it. Yeah, it's funny. We're kids and we just know how to play, and we grow up and we get to become these adults, and we just get so caught up in adulting that we forget that play is part of adulting.
Exactly.
It's part of thriving.
Mm-hmm.
That is wonderful. I really appreciate you being on here today. I guess I would just like to ask or give you the floor if there's anything that you wanted to ask me, or if you had any other additional insight, advice, or offerings that you wanted to share with the listeners that I haven't asked you about yet.
Okay. Let's see. Well, we talked quite a bit off air, so I found out more about you. I just feel really honored to have been on your podcast. I love what you're doing out in the world. It's really exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if people out there are interested in even just like shooting me an email and letting me know how you're doing, I love hearing from people, whether it be just questions or ways that you're winning. You can contact me at Astra at yayneuroplasticity.com. And then yes. Also, one more thing. I write for the Rewiring Your Wellness blog twice a month, and it's a series about play. So there's a lot more about that on there.
Awesome. I will obviously I'll include the link for them in the show notes. I will include your website link and your Instagram handle. Do you want me to put the email as well?
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Awesome.
And then as far as any last thoughts for the listeners, if you're looking for hope and to regain your power, I would really consider investing in a neural retraining program. I have tried pretty much everything known to man as far as healing modalities. And this just blows everything out of the water for me. If you find things that are working for you, great. I also think that like this can not only get you to where you want to be just by itself, but also can really complement other things that you're doing as far as healing goes. Absolutely. And I just want to also add on to that brain retraining, again, just to reiterate, is not just if you're sick or have an illness or chronic, dis-ease in the body. As I always mention on the podcast, this is for not only healing the body, but also the mind and the emotional body, the mental body. So it's definitely something that people can benefit from for every facet of life, even if it's just creating the life of your dreams. Living more in your truth. Totally. I mean, the way I kind of see it is like, if we're not enjoying life in some regard, 100% of the time, there's stuff to rewire. If we experience pain at all, there's stuff to rewire. And so I have no idea when I'll be done rewiring, but
maybe never.
Exactly.
It might not always look the same, especially because there are so many wonderful rewiring exercises and practices and tools out there. But yeah, I mean, I always say that healing in some capacity is a lifelong journey, because like we already mentioned, we're living this human experience. So every day we're, faced with the challenge of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's wonderful. All right, Astra, Rebecca, thank you so much for your time today. And thank you for sharing all of your, wisdom with the listeners and helping to inspire and give them a new perspective about playing and laughter and fun and being silly.
Of course. Thank you so much.
All right, self-healers, that's a wrap. I honestly hope you found this message as empowering and powerful as I did. Honestly, I learned so much listening to this interview a second time, and I encourage you to make this one on repeat down the road when you need some elevating inspiration. If you did enjoy today's episode, share it on your social media and tag me. Let's spread the love, laughter, and empowerment around the globe together. It takes a tribe. And don't forget this week's challenge to do something to make someone else smile. And until next time, make this week great. You're worth it.